Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm out at the lake this morning getting ready for a little bit of a change up, doing some ultralight fishing out here today. It has been hard times on the cats lately. I have not been able to buy a bite. I think the cats are maybe spawning. I think they might be on the nest, so I figured I'd grab my ultralight rod, come out to the lake today, see if I can just get a tug on the line. If I don't catch a fish soon, I might go crazy. So I think what my plan is for today is to just leave the camera rolling and that way be able to capture whatever fish I am fortunate enough to catch out here today. This is not going to be one of them raw and uncut videos. I have no idea how I would come up with 2+ hours of commentary for you all to listen to. Trust me, you wouldn't want to. So I'm just going to leave the camera rolling, but I am going to cut to the fish if and when the fish come, and I sure hope they do. So let's get to fishing and see if we can find a few. Oh, and just like that, we got our first fish of the morning, and it's actually not the species oh, there he goes too. Let's see if we can get our hand on him. He's hanging out in the weeds here. Well, there he goes anyways. See if we can get another one. That's not the species I was anticipating catching first thing out here today. Little largemouth. And that's a great thing about fishing this ultralight setup though, is you just really can't anticipate what the next fish is going to be that may bite. I kind of figured on getting some bluegill, some green sunfish, and hopefully, if all goes well, we will get a few of them out here today. But it is not going to hurt my feelings at all if we can catch a few bass too. Oh, had one there. Over here by this running water, see if we can't get some that are active over here. Hopefully some that are big enough to not just nip at the tail of this thing. When you got fish that are too small even to get the 1-inch gulp, you're dealing with some pretty small fish. There's one there. Another little largemouth. I'll tell you what, that's not what I was expecting to get out here today. But I'm not going to complain about getting it, that's for sure. That's another one there that decided to release itself. That's alright, that makes my job a little easier. Been getting them so far, that one and the first one I caught here close to the bank, which makes sense up here on these rocks. But it doesn't give you a whole lot of time to play out the fish, which means when you get them in, they're not too calm. See if we can find another one down here. There's one there. That thing hit just as soon as that little minnow hit the water. I think that's a cat. Old bullhead, it looks like. Maybe a channel cat. A little channel cat. I don't know, some guys have an opinion about catching these things on the ultralight rod. But my opinion is, I'm out here to catch fish, and I'm out here to catch whatever. I'm out here to catch whatever will bite when I'm fishing with this setup. And if that's going to be channel cats, that's going to be channel cats. I don't care. There goes Mr. Whiskers. The only bad thing about catching the channel cats on your gulp minnows is that they do tend to tear them up pretty bad. That minnow there got tore. Fix it back just like that. Keep the line from wrapping around my rod tip if I can. Try tossing one over that way and see what we can find. Something. Sitting right on it. I think this feels like a bluegill. Sure enough, got us our first bluegill of the day, just like that. Mr. Bluegill, let me get a hold of you. Got the line all tangled. Work that back out. Oh, and there he goes. He didn't want to stick around for long. And I don't blame him. Back in the water he goes. We'll just throw back over there and see if there's not another one sitting over there. Oh, he hit just like that, but he didn't get it. We found some fish over here. This is one of them locations that I've fished in the past. Before I got into ultralight fishing, it just looks like a spot that should hold some fish, and I've never really fished this lake from a kayak or from a boat. I've always kind of just wanted to keep things simple when I've come out here and just fish from the bank. When I was a kid, I didn't have anything to enable me to get out on the water, a kayak or a boat that I could use. So I'd fish this area back here thinking it looked like a place that ought to hold a few fish as we get snagged. Specifically thinking it ought to hold some bass. Oh, that's not what we need. I'll break that off, I guess, and retie. But anyway, as I was saying, guys, I've fished this area back here in the past, usually looking for bass. It just looks like a place that ought to hold some fish. Before I got into ultralight fishing, throwing spinner baits and whatever else back in here, and never had any luck. Well, I came out here this year. This is the first year I've fished this lake since I've been into ultralight fishing. Hit this area back in here because I just couldn't give up on it. I mean, it just looks like an area that should hold some fish. Started tossing that 1-inch gulp, and I caught fish every time I've been out here. Mostly in this area here where the creek flows in. We've got that moving water. I've caught a few down a little ways off of it, but for the most part, kind of congregating in this area here. They've got that water pushing bait in for them to feed on, aerating the water here in the area. Just great location to target some fish. All right, folks, just like that, I've got another bait tied on. I want to get back over there where we got that last bluegill. I can't believe he would have been sitting over there alone. See if we can find another one without losing another jig. Make a few casts here. I'm having a hard time finding some bank access that don't have a bunch of people around. For whatever reason, this is the weekend to be out camping and fishing. I'm not sure why that is. But the place is loaded out here today. Well, we got us one there though. Little green sunfish. If I had more time over the weekend to do some catfishing, I'd keep a few of these for some live bait. They make an excellent live bait, but I don't think I'm gonna have the time. I may have a little bit of time to get out and do some catfishing, but not enough time to justify keeping some live baits. I don't mind catching some of them green sunfish though, if there's gonna be some of them wanting to bite today. I don't care what I catch, I just want to catch something. Make myself feel a little bit better about having had such hard times on the catfish lately. There's another something there. Let's see if it's not another one of them. Nope, little bluegill. All right, maybe these fish are gonna be up today and we're gonna be able to catch a few. Bluegill there. another one there. There might be a little school of fish over there. Uh-oh. Got me in a branch. Just trying to keep them out of that. Ah, that ain't good. Come on, buddy. Come out of that. I don't want to have to break off and tie again. And I got this spider web wrapped around my line. It's been giving me some hard times on the casting front. I don't know what I'm going to do. I really don't want to have to cut the line off and retie again because I'm getting pretty sick of that. That gets old pretty quick. Already done that numerous times on this trip, which is pretty typical for me. I want to just cast and catch fish. Well, I had my camera off. I was dealing with some issues with my line and then some people walking by, and I'm not a big fan of filming when people are around, but figured I'd turn her back on just as some evidence that I did catch a crappie out here today. So I've been getting some fish on this spot. I've been kind of wanting to move off of this spot because I keep snagging on branches or rocks or something down there and having to retie, and I don't want to have to keep putting up with that, but it's hard to move when you're catching fish. So, and I wouldn't mind catching some crappie today either. That's the first one I've found out here so far, but maybe there's a few more here, so I'm going to stand here for a little while longer, see what else I can find before I move on. There's one there. Finally, did we catch another fish? I moved way off of that other spot over there. Kind of quit getting bit at the one location I was fishing, and then the banks are just covered with people, so I moved quite a ways to just try and get myself away from people. That's a pretty nice looking bluegill there. So may have to go back to the truck because my minnow is pretty tore up here, and I haven't brought it out here with me because I wasn't really sure if I was gonna get bit down here or not. We'll throw back in there and see if there's another one. Kind of looks like, I don't know if you guys can see, you probably can't on camera, but looks like there might be a little bit of an algae bloom going on, which is not great. Our water quality here in this area is really terrible. We've been having algae blooms even on the river, just flowing water, and we're still getting algae blooms. It's awful. Well, I think I'm gonna move off this spot. I got that one bluegill and just a few casts ago, and really probably haven't given this spot its fair shot, but I'm still just a little bit closer to all the people than what I want to be. I think I'm gonna move off. There's a location a little bit farther downstream that I think is free. I don't think there are people around over there, and I'd like to go hit that. I've had good luck there in the past. I want to go see if there's some fish hanging on it. There's one. What we got here? A little bass, it looks like. Yeah, that spot I had wanted to fish, in fact, does have someone on it. And you know, I want people to give me my space when I'm out here trying to fish, and so I'm gonna do what I can to give other people their space as well. Not trying to crowd anyone out here. I would like for that bass to give me my jig back, little guy, but still fun to catch. Well, that's the third bass of the day. I think we've caught 5 species. We've caught largemouth bass, we've caught channel catfish, we've got bluegill, green sunfish, and one crappie. We found a few fish out here today. I haven't really got on any location where I've just caught them, you know, just caught fish after fish. I haven't really got on a big school or anything like that that's real actively feeding, but I have certainly found some fish, and that's what you're gonna find when you're fishing. When you're fishing this sort of setup with the ultralight gear, and a real small jig, a real small lure, you're gonna catch fish. It's a rare occasion when you get skunked, and if you do get skunked, it's probably due to something else like wind or just having a lot of moss or something in the water that makes your fishing ineffective. But if you get a day like today where it's clear and calm, you should find some fish. That's not to say that you're going to slay them, that you're going to catch hundreds of fish, but you should catch some fish. And that's a whole lot better than what I've been doing lately, trying to get the catfish, catching no fish. I would like to find a school though. I'd love to get on a school of fish somewhere and just hammer them. That's one thing I really enjoy about bluegill fishing. If you can find a school that's actively feeding, that's a good time. But I have not been able to do so yet out here today. There's one. Another little bass. I'm happy to get him, but at the same time slightly disappointed because I'd really like to just find a school of feeding bluegills. Just catch one after another. And on top of that, this little bass is smaller than an average bluegill. It's another fish anyways. I've been kind of struggling to get him as I get a knot in my line. Come on. That's the way I fish. I can't catch fish without having some sort of challenge. Well folks, I'm closing out here where I started. We caught some fish out here today. We got 5 different species. And had a lot of fun catching them fish. We had some struggles finding some bank access. There's a lot of people out here, and you know, I'm all for people getting out, enjoying the outdoors. I love it. I absolutely am supportive of that. I hope people want to get out and do fun stuff outside, maybe even do some fishing, some ultralight fishing. But I wish people wouldn't do it at the same place where I'm trying to do it. Aside from the struggles finding some bank access, I think really what has happened is our bites kind of died off here, and I think it's just the fact that sun came up and it's hot. So we got on a little bit of bite out here this morning when it was still a little bit cool. Had I been able to drag myself out of bed and get out here even a little bit earlier, probably would have caught a lot more fish than what we did out here today. But nevertheless, I'm not complaining. We caught plenty of fish, had a lot of fun. And now it's just hot. We're in the dog days of summer, and makes the fishing slow down a little bit, especially when you're like me and like to be slow getting out of bed and go out and fish in the afternoon. So anyway, had a lot of fun out here catching the fish that I did catch. Had a little bit of a challenge avoiding the people, but I was able to make it happen, and looking forward to getting out and doing it again sometime soon. In the meantime, I'm going to go find some AC. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video.